I'm gonna walk you through the first principles of bodyweight strength and skill so that no matter your age, level, background, or history, you can gain total body mastery, like handstands, muscle-ups, flips, and so much more. Lee Weiland, Pacific Rim Athletics, creator of Powerbatics, and welcome to training. Now, what do I mean by total body mastery? Well, there's a few components that come together to create total body mastery. These include things like your flexibility, your strength, your mobility, balance and coordination, your skills acquisition, adding speed to that and creating power, but most importantly, sustainability, so that you have it long term. And I don't mean anything boastful by the word mastery either, just the ability to adapt to a variety of situations and help others make progress. And total body mastery might look a little different for each person. It could be a handstand, muscle-ups, flares, and flips, doing an obstacle race, performing an acrobatic routine, martial arts, diving, or any other number of sports, disciplines, or aspects of human movement. But they all require the combination of the components I just mentioned, from flexibility to power, and again, the most important being sustainability. Now, there's 4 principles that shape if, how, and when you achieve it. Get these 4 principles wrong, and it'll be more challenging than Frodo going to Mordor. Get these 4 principles right, and no matter if you're just getting started or already well into your training, you'll have a conduit for accelerating your progress. Let's start with HPC. This stands for Human Point of Consciousness. And I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't start with the mind, because it's the engine that drives your body into bodyweight strength and skills excellence. There are 2 aspects to the mind that will absolutely destroy any semblance of your progress. But if you fix them, like I'll share, you'll unlock the 80% that will propel you to strength, skill, and sustainability. The first is the #1 most often repeated command in the Bible: to not fear. To not worry. Whether you share my theological viewpoints or not, it's just a fact that this is the most often expressed rule of life. And it makes absolute sense. This comes in all forms. You might be scared of starting, have a fear of failure, or fear of falling in a handstand, a fear of time or resources or commitments. Here's a big one: a fear that it's too late to start, or a fear that if you do invest the time and resources into training, it won't work for you. See, they take all shapes and sizes, and everyone has them. The key difference in going from lackluster push-ups to flares, from the boring weight room to backflips, and from back pain to back walkovers is this: transforming your fears into focus. You see, your fears stem from all sorts of sources, all kinds of whispers from your own conscious and from others. Each time one creeps up, no matter how difficult it may seem, you allow it to be there. Let them fade, just as all thoughts in the consciousness do, and then focus on total body mastery. And I won't lie and say it'll be easy. Simple, yes, but challenging to say the least. I'll get into details about how to overcome this in a moment. The second is distractions. And when you look at any form of distraction, whether food, candy, websites people shouldn't be on, short form videos, complaining about how somebody wronged you, or whatever the case may be, these are all distractions. They're actually the fireballs that fear is throwing at you. Fear is in your subconscious, and then you just happen to find any little thing that'll allow you to postpone what is difficult or challenging for a different day that never comes. Instead, you must shift from a state of distraction into one of desire. What is that skill that you most want to attain? Is it a flip, a handstand, the next level of your Powerbatics kata? A new skill? Listen, no matter what your brain is telling you, you have to pursue the positive desire until that becomes your desire. Now, the second of the first principles of total body mastery is time, or precisely how much to train and how to structure your day. Every human has the exact same amount of time until the day they pass, 24 hours each day. Now, many will say all you need is 30 to 60 minutes of exercise each day. Well, first, 75% of the human population doesn't even get that much, so you definitely don't want to be in that category. And then many people will use every excuse under the sun as a distraction to give in to their fears. They'll blame that they've got kids or a busy job or whatever else. You know how many of our students at Pacific Rim Athletics have kids and careers in law, medical fields, entrepreneurs? Everyone has responsibilities. Don't turn the beautiful responsibilities of growth into the shackles of a defeatist mentality. And second, the other 23 hours of your day will have an even greater impact on your training than your training will. In other words, imagine a software engineer who trains 1 hour of calisthenics every single day and can even do a muscle up will be in far worse shape than a carpenter who is working with supplies, walking around, lifting objects and building things. The carpenter is using strength and skill to build. This is my entire thesis for not fitness, you know I hate that word, but physical and mental training. It's the building, the construction, the carpentry of strength and skill that leads to mental and physical sustainability. Now, don't get me wrong, a carpenter or any other physically demanding career is going to have a host of other issues, overuse, joints, etc. In fact, my team was just telling me that they fixed the ergonomics of a student who was building cabinets all day, and it translated into phenomenally better life and then into his Powerbatics training. Either way, you'll need to know how to structure your day and build in your physical training to lead to total body mastery. Let's start with just 45 minutes per day. This should include a 10-minute warm-up that targets all joints. I often joke that our warm-up is harder than most people's full workouts. 36 moves, 10 seconds per move, 360 seconds divided by 60, 6 minutes, but we give 10 minutes total. It doesn't need to be rocket science, but it does need to hit everything. Then 10 to 15 minutes of strength. As an easy example is our muscle up workout. At the most basic level, doing 5 rounds of 20 rows coupled with 5 rounds of 20 push-ups. Then advancing from there so you don't stay in a comfort zone of fear. Then 10 minutes of skills like turning a bridge into a back walkover, and then a Valdez, and then maybe even a back handspring. And finishing with flexibility. 3 to 5 days per week, but that's unique to the individual. From there, we can scale up to 60 minutes a day and eventually 90-minute blocks of training like we use at the facility. And some of our students even do doubles, so that's 2 90-minute blocks sandwiched together with a 10-minute rest in between. And then from there, maybe there's other activities you enjoy like rock climbing, hiking, or martial arts. Many of our online students will do an hour of our training as their foundation and then an hour of something else just for fun. And adding to that other activities like building and gardening. So then, even a sedentary career and a busy life are no match for physical activity laced throughout the day. And on top of that, start thinking about your training. Mental reps are just as productive. It rewires your mind. It even stimulates your body. Make it a part of your 24-hour day, thinking about your training. Third of the first principles of total body mastery. Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim va'et haaretz. This is the first verse of Genesis in Hebrew, which means in the beginning, Bereshit. That's our time component of first principles. Then bara Elohim, God created. That's our consciousness, first principle of bodyweight strength and skill. Then va'et hashamayim, the heavens, the third principle, space. The space we occupy and the space others occupy. Who is in your space? What are you doing with the space that you occupy? I have a couple little challenges for you here. Number 1, simply remove yourself from sharing the space that is occupied by negative Nelsons and Nancys who are not building total body mastery. This is not your space from now on. If they want to change, they will, but it's not your responsibility. And it's not your responsibility to be brought into poor health and reduced strength as a result of sharing that space. Number 2, creating your training space, your dojo, in your home, wherever you are. You surely should be able to carve out a little 6x6 feet of clear space to train, or find a little spot at your school or in your office or outside in the fresh air, but create something that is consistently available to you. The most important things you should train when starting don't even involve equipment anyways, such as V-stand, press handstand, stalder, crab, bridge, and full splits. And I assure you, the strength from these basics carries right on over into every area of movement. The fourth of the principles of total body mastery is the material. It's what everyone wants to jump to. The sets, the reps, the katas, the routines, the cool moves, but that's not where you should start. I know so many people who got really good, but they didn't sustain it because they didn't start correctly with the first 3 principles. Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim va'et haaretz. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, the immaterial and the material. The material includes your equipment and your actual physical training. In terms of equipment, start with the ground and then add something simple to hang from. I'll go through each element of Powerbatics real quick, and this is literally all we use. The floor for handstand, maybe some blocks or canes, something simple to hang from for ninja strength. hoop, silks, and straps for circ, or again, just something simple to hang from, really. The floor for power moves, that's it. And the floor again, and a block and a wall or something vertical for free run. Really simple stuff, and you can cram all of this into a big duffel bag, which we actually do when we host international retreats and workshops. And the training is simple. I already overviewed how you should warm up and how you should conduct strength, but skills is where it gets a little complicated. The best way we found is to train skills individually and then add the variability through katas, small routines that combine all the skills together. Yes, people at the gym will look at you funny, but then in a couple of months, they'll be asking you how you did it. That's just how these first principles work. See you in the next video and in training soon.